17,000 Harvards were built, serving as advanced trainers with the RAF and the Royal New Zealand Air Force. The engine, a 550 horsepower Pratt & Whitney. The tearing sound, that's the tip of the propeller going supersonic. There's 14 years between them, but the T-28 Trojan was also built by the North American company. This one, like many others flying in Australia, was retrieved from Laos at the end of the Vietnam War. The Trojan was never intended to be anything other than a trainer, but in Laos they were used as ground attack aircraft.
Taking off in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, for their final, the T-28.
This is a big aeroplane from any angle. Some have an 800 horsepower radial, others the bigger 1400 horsepower engine.
Second position. There's Judy Pay going across the line now.
Judy Pay from Melbourne is one of the more visible T-28 pilots. For her, flying this powerful macho machine is a statement for all women aviators.
After the race, when we pulled up, I just suddenly noticed that I was drenched. I was dripping wet in the cockpit and starting to feel really shaky and nauseous. It's very, very draining. I mean, the concentration for a 12-minute race, because it's not only in 2 dimensions, it's in 3 dimensions. You have a vertical element as well, and you really have to watch the other aircraft.
You'd be looking out for them all the while, of course, and you have your eyes all over the sky.
Yes, as well as trying to keep them on the course.
And of course you also have to please the crowds.
Yeah, but I think it really pleases the crowd. I mean, you get so much noise and speed. It's the fastest motorsport in the world. You get 4 of these big radials thundering down the straight at 100 feet at 240, 250 knots. It must be quite spectacular. It's a crowd pleaser all by itself without even trying.
I don't know about you, but it's been a long time since I've watched a good documentary on a DVD. There's a lot of material out there that's really difficult and hard to find now. So we're recovering, restoring and preserving a lot of that material on www.historicalmachines.tv. If you jump on over to the site, you can sign up for a free 7-day trial, support us, and at the same time watch the full-length version of this film.
One of the most visible civilian airliners flying in Australia is the Lockheed Electra, owned by the Sydney businessman Laurie Ogle. Built in 1937, this aeroplane hadn't flown for 24 years before restoration started. It was once the pride of the Ansett Airways fleet. This immensely strong airframe has survived 3 major crashes, been force-landed 28 times, hit by a refueling truck twice and struck by lightning once. It's done only 27,000 hours in the air, and its owner has plenty of spares to keep it flying well into the 21st century. But for a Warbird enthusiast like me, there aren't too many chances to get into a fighter. One of them is the 2-seat Mustang of Bob Eastgate. To make room for the passenger, the 72-gallon fuel tank behind the pilot has been removed, as well as the bulky old-fashioned radio. For takeoff, manifold pressure is set at 50 inches of boost, the Packard-built Rolls-Royce Merlin developing 1,650 horsepower. Then pulled back as the aircraft rotates. The landing gear is retracted, the retract lever near the pilot's left leg.
Join us on our full advert-free streaming service at historicalmachines.tv, where you'll find lots more great footage just like this, all for less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month.